Thank you. My name is Ayo Kimathi. I appreciate the opportunity to address the committee on this bill. Initially, when we saw this bill, we were excited. We thought that it provided parents rights and protected the rights. I agree with the sentiment that everybody in this room said. I agree with it 100%. After looking at it very closely, we became very disturbed because this bill did the exact opposite of what we feel the original intent may have been. We look specifically at the section that says when the parents lose the rights in this bill. When do you lose your rights to protect your children? What does the bill say? It says when it's necessary to achieve a compelling government interest. We toiled and toiled over that because we had no clue what a compelling government interest was. So then we were going back and forth over the 666, and we started looking it up, and we just happened to look up the bills that were 666. And guess what? HR 6666 is a bill about the COVID-19 contact tracing. HR 666 was another bill out of Massachusetts that was about putting black people and prioritizing them for these injections that now people are getting myocarditis, pericarditis, and all of these negative things that are happening with these injections. So as we looked at it deeper, we said, wait a minute. What this bill actually does, something that they did not have when they rolled this thing out, which is the right to come in and jab the children. Now it puts it in black and white where a bill that's supposed to be protecting children takes away in black and white the rights for parents to protect your children from it. Because we've just said, yeah, if the government makes the decision that you have a compelling reason, which is what, a few children die, all of a sudden at a compelling reason, we have to come and inject all of the children. We created the bill that gave them the right to come and take our children and stick them with these bioweapon injections. So we were very disturbed when we saw what this bill could actually end up doing, and we had a problem with that. We consider this an adult child genocide bill because as we looked at it, this bill is no different than SB 839, SB 840, SB 378, and SB 372 that we saw as well, all of them trying to do the exact same thing, which is find a way to force people to take something that people who are weak do not want to do. So we are against this particular bill. I would just ask one thing at the end. It's very fast. If we could, 2 seconds, yeah. Could we please not do any more bills with 666s on them? I think people would just in the future. Thank you.
They genuinely didn't pick that number. And okay, next person, please.
Might have triggered off some memories of the Tuskegee experiment. Can you comment on that?
Yes, sir. I really appreciate that question. And I'll answer it like this. Every bill that I've testified on has either been two things: pushing LGBT, pedophilic type of things on young people, and these injections. As it relates to being African American and the slave trade, pushing the LGBT thing, our introduction to LGBT was called slavery. We didn't have a word for that in many African nations. We don't now. So I'm offended by those things being pushed in the school because it's against my culture and who I am. To your point, we've seen this very same thing with Tuskegee. So we as black people in America are familiar with this kind of agenda being rolled out. The reason some of us got tricked with this one, we've seen it when it's happening white to black people. What I don't think we've ever actually seen is when some group decides that they're going to do this to white people, black people, and everybody at the same time. So as an African American, as a black man from this country, I can see what's happening. And I think we should all be having this discussion. So thank you so much for the question.
Real quickly, at what age or what grade do you think the viewing of movies like Roots, Queen, and not to mention Hidden Colors could be taught in this school system?
Well, the first and the third one I like a lot. I think as early as some late elementary school.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Seeing no more questions for the panel, we thank you all very much, and that concludes the testimony for House Bill 666. Concluding the testimony here in the House Judiciary Committee today. We will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We will see you then. Thank you.